Up next, with the Harvey Weistein scandal dominating the headlines, our legal experts dig deep into the case and the trouble he could be facing. Where does this go?
They all get to testify, a substantial amount of them. He's D-O-N-E, done.
And all the criminal allegations going far beyond Harvey.
Until Hollywood studios get really serious about this, it's not going to go away.
Coming up. From Hollywood to here in New York and everywhere in between, the topic of sexual harassment and sexual assault remains front page news. Today, two legal experts are here to talk about both sides of this often heated and complicated issue. But first, let's update you on some of the facts. She was the first famous woman to blow the whistle and pave the way for others to break their silence about sexual misconduct.
Women are speaking up in record levels now and saying enough already.
Former Fox News anchor Gretchen Carlson exposing her powerful boss, the late Fox News chairman, Roger Ailes.
It's actually incredibly empowering for me to see all of these other women buoyed by what I did, and now they feel brave enough to do what they did.
Judd, Angelina Jolie, and Rose McGowan bravely joined the first few women to come forward claiming movie mogul Harvey Weinstein was a sexual predator, helping expose Hollywood's dirty secret.
I have been silenced for 20 years.
McGowan, who accused Weinstein of rape, speaking out publicly for the first time in Detroit at the Women's Convention. And Ashley Judd speaking with Extra in New York about this watershed moment for women.
I feel protected. I know that I'm part of something historic that's unprecedented.
Along with Weinstein, Hollywood power producer Brett Ratner is also facing multiple claims of misconduct, which he has categorically denied. And then there's two-time Oscar winner Kevin Spacey. Actor Anthony Rapp claims the House of Cards star tried to seduce him when he was only 14. Spacey says if it happened, he doesn't remember.
We make the terror.
Police in London launching a criminal investigation against Spacey. And New York detectives building a criminal case against Weinstein for allegedly raping actress Paz de la Huerta in 2010. Weinstein has denied all allegations of non-consensual sex. So what are the legal repercussions and how will these people be held accountable? We've brought in two top lawyers in the field to break down the legal hurdles of these sexual harassment cases. We have Rhonda Wills, who specializes in this field, who's represented hundreds of sexual harassment victims, and Bob Bianchi, who's a former prosecutor and now a criminal defense lawyer. We've got Harvey Weinstein, who's being investigated on the West Coast, the East Coast, and some places in between. Where does this go?
Well, I'll tell you where it goes is going to be to the courtroom, ultimately. Dozens and dozens of women who were allegedly sexually harassed by Harvey Weinstein are all going to be filing multi-million-dollar lawsuits against both Harvey Weinstein as an individual as well as against the Harvey Weinstein Group, his company that many believe may have been complicit in what was going on because they allegedly knew about these payoffs that he was making and yet allowed it to continue.
Can I say another big message here where I think the prosecutor is going to use as evidence? It's this contract he has with the board of directors from his company that essentially says, in my mind,
you can get away with sexual assault.
We know you're going to sexually assault people. We know you're going to victimize people. But if you do, you owe us this amount of money. Where was the protection of the victims and the people that he was assaulting in that contract? To me, it's what they call in the law an admission against interest, both for the board of directors and Weinstein.
Paz de la Huerta. Can they prosecute that case?
But in this particular case, there are emails, there are tape-recorded conversations. There, according to the police, the allegations are there is significant, copious amounts of evidence to show that this was a forcible scenario, and they're presenting it to the prosecutors and saying, go forward with the case.
Right. But how do you defend Harvey Weinstein?
Well, you're going to be defending it like they typically do, to say that this is a disgruntled person who wants to go for the big fish,
80
wants to have a payday.
People?
Well, that's why, Chris, it comes down to how much will the prosecutor be able to get all those other women to come in. And remember, under the law, and Rhonda knows this, the judge will say you can't use other women's evidence that are outside the statute of limitations to say, if he did that, he must have done this, but you can use it to show a conspiracy amongst and between people. That's why it all comes down to the admission of how many of these women are going to be allowed to testify. If they all get to testify, or a substantial amount of them, he's D-O-N-E, done.
Weinstein is suing his former company for wrongful termination. Does he have a leg to stand on?
Weinstein's absolutely crazy to even consider suing for wrongful termination. That's going to open the door for all of these victims that may have signed non-disclosure agreements to now be allowed to come into court and testify without even breaching the non-disclosure. Not only that, Harvey Weinstein's going to be called in to give a deposition and have to give testimony while he's under potential criminal indictments. It's crazy and ludicrous that he'd even consider bringing this lawsuit.
It's not just Harvey Weinstein. It's Brett Ratner and on and on and
It's
on.
Brett Ratner. It's Kevin Spacey. It's Harvey Weinstein. It's Bill Cosby. If what is being alleged against Kevin Spacey is true, attacking a 14-year-old boy would be a pedophile.
If these allegations are true, they're especially egregious because they involve boys who would not be inclined, they're not mature enough to be able
wanted to make it in this business.
Who wanted to make it in the business. There was a power relationship there. It is like almost double, triple predatory. And the bottom line here is what I found with high-powered people that I've prosecuted, high-level executives and companies, apparently what's going on in Hollywood, is these people are living in a bubble. And it's the bubble of you can get whatever you want, whenever you want, you can do whatever you want, you're making us a lot of money, and all of a sudden they get these handlers and people that are protecting them, pushing things under the carpet, sweeping things under the rug, and these guys get to a point where they feel they're impervious to prosecution.
Is this the end of the casting couch in Hollywood?
I don't think so. I really don't, because, Chris, until Hollywood studios get really serious about this, it's not going to go away.
Bob, Rhonda, thank you for your fascinating insight into this story, and we'll continue to follow all of these stories and bring you up to date on CrimeWatchDaily.com.